Hey, Vinyl Community, how's it going? So today I want to do another Aerosmith related video, a top 10 list, if you will. Today I want to talk about the top 10 drugs of choice for Stephen Perry, Tyler Perry, Steven Tyler, and Joe Perry. So I want to do a top 10 video, the drugs of choice for Steven Tyler and Joe Perry. As you know, they did have a bit of a drug problem in the 1970s. And so the period of time that I'm covering is going to be from the Get Your Wings album through the Done with Mirrors album, whose title references snorting a white substance, which may or may not appear on this list. So I'm going to be doing a top 10. Going to start with the least favorite drug of choice all the way through the number one drug of choice. Now, I am in no way condoning drug use. Do not misunderstand the purpose of this video. I love Aerosmith. I love doing Aerosmith videos. So any opportunity I can take to do an Aerosmith top 10 list, I'm going to do it. And I'm not starting, this is not a threat. I do not want to see other people in the VC doing other drug-related top 10s, okay? Just a disclaimer there. All right, so let's get right to it. Number 10, nitrous oxide. Now, if you know anything about Aerosmith's history, the Toys in the Attic album was the nitrous oxide album. There were nitrous oxide canisters strewn throughout the studio during the recording of that album. Many times you can hear it in Steven Tyler's voice, where he almost sounds like he's on helium, or he just does not sound altogether there. It was very much a drug of choice, and it was used very prolifically throughout those recording sessions. Number 9. I hear people talking about Quaaludes very much anymore. However, in the 1970s, everybody was taking Quaaludes by the handful. So yes, Aerosmith was one of the bands who did fall prey to the allure of Quaaludes. So that is my number 7. Number favor downers as much as they favored uppers. Downers were very much a part of the recording process in the 1970s, and Aerosmith used them in large quantities. Number 4.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
There are tales of cocaine dust being everywhere, along the soundboards, all over the amplifiers. The microphones had cocaine residue all over them. You couldn't walk anywhere in the studio without gathering cocaine dust on your clothing, on your shoes, and I'm not making it up. Read any book on Aerosmith, and it is very clear cocaine was the number 2 drug of choice. Number 1, no surprise here, I'm sure you've all guessed it already, heroin. Yes, very unfortunately, much like a lot of the jazz musicians of the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s, 80s, but a lot of rock and roll and jazz musicians used heroin. And Aerosmith was no exception. They were very fond of the heroin in the late 70s, and we're talking the Draw the Line period, all the way up through probably their comeback album. And this is what needs to be said. Aerosmith stopped. I think they got clean right before the Permanent Vacation album. Their partying days were mostly behind them by that point. So when I say Joe Tyler and Steven Tyler and Joe Perry were using prodigious amounts of heroin, I am mostly talking about the late 70s. Get Your Nuts Out, Draw the Line, Rock in a Hard Place, Done with Mirrors. Those heavy heroin use. It almost broke up the band, and it almost put an end to Aerosmith as we know it. But very fortunately, they got their act together. No more of that for Joe Perry and Steven Tyler. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed this list. Hopefully it's been a cautionary list. Don't anybody out there get started on any of these. Hope you've enjoyed it, and take care.